Anyways, this should be I hear us starting. So as I was saying, as we were starting up there, this should be a pretty good match. You got Switchmaster64, who's got a 57-13, and then you got rubbertoe64 with a 59-10. Both sub ones, both good runners in this game, and I'm expecting a nice, good old matchup for here. For those of you who are not familiar with this game, with this category, this is Luigi's Mansion, the No Out of Bounds tournament. And as the name implies, we are not allowed to go out of bounds, making this one of the main categories of the speedrun. You go ahead and collect 40 boos and get to King Boo, beat the game, doing various, really it's based on, you know, optimizing movements and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll go ahead and have a good time here. Hopefully Switch's stream stops doing that choppy thing, and it seems like it has. You see both players holding out their cameras for a little bit of what's called a scare skip. What that's going to do is going to stop them from getting scared by the ghosts when they're in the little Game Boy horror camera, and then they can position themselves accurately to where they want to go in an optimal manner. As you saw, Switch just there on the right, or left. Hello. And you'll see him do it again. Boom! Just like that. And so he's able to point his flashlight at the ghost, not wasting any time whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead and set up a double here. And it sounds like he got it. And he did. And he's going to go ahead and set up another double here. Turn around, swing wide, and both players so far with relatively smooth area 1. Gonna go ahead and get that ghost that spawns on the right because that's the ghost that's gonna start the next cycle. It would be slower to set up a double there because you don't start the cycle timer faster. So that's actually why we get single ghosts there instead of doubles. And then here, of course, we're able to push these garbage ghosts to set up quick doubles here against each wardrobe. Spawning a key and making our way to the Area 1 hallway. Area 1, shortest area in the game. There's 4 areas in total. This one takes usually about 6 minutes. And only 3 portrait ghosts, and we're about to see them. Portrait ghosts, a little different from the regular ghosts. What they're going to do is have 100 health each, and each of them has like a little quirk to sucking them up. Each of them pulls a little bit differently, and those are going to be like the main kind of, you know, parts of the game, almost like little mini boss of the game, but they're not because there are like a lot of them. So you see this one, if you're facing away from him, he'll go to yawn, and he shows his heart when he lifts up his book. Facing backwards, you pick up the heart right away, and you start the suck up right away, so you don't actually see the full animation. You'll see on the right side, Rubbertoe actually has 0 pearls, which is nice. He's what's called low percent. And that'll help him if he continues to have no pearls, save about a second or so on the transition between Area 1 and Area 2 when they count the money. Opening the window here reveals Lydia's heart. And staying in the corner, one of the most optimal, or at least more consistent, easy ways to suck up a ghost consistently. Or at least for portrait ghosts, I should say. And now we move into the Area 1 boss, which is Chauncey. It's a big floating baby in a crib. Boss has 100 health, but you can't actually one-cycle it, unlike the portrait ghosts. It's just physically, in the game's code, you can't do it. It's not possible, well, at least so far. Even with task tools, we haven't been able to get it to happen. So you launch the ball at Chauncey. Chauncey gets pretty pissed, and we go into this cutscene before the fight. You can see our runners are gonna avoid rocking horses, but also they're gonna get hit by Chauncey on purpose a couple times. That's again to lose coins so that we don't have to be getting a higher money count during the transition from Area 1 to Area 2. And it also doesn't waste time to get hit by Chauncey, so might as well. So we're going to keep Chauncey above 50 health on this first cycle, because otherwise it's going to be a slower cycle on the second cycle. he'll actually launch a third set of rocking horses, and that's no bueno. So you'll see Switch lined up here. He's going to take a step backwards, catch the ball, and then shoot it right at Chauncey's face. Bring him just above 50. I know we didn't quite see it, but I'm assuming it's there. You see Rubbertoe actually just missed the ball catch, so he had to run and go grab it, but you'll see he left him at 52 HP. Switch getting hit again. Rubbertoe, of course, getting hit again. And then just landing right on the money. Hopefully he doesn't catch another coin here when he gets hit on the left side. So you see Switch getting hit here. He's going to actually use these invincibility frames, knock on the wall to hold the invincibility frames, and then take a step backward to instantly catch the ball. Usually that ball would hurt you, but with the invincibility frames, if you just R pump by holding down the L trigger and pressing the R trigger, you can just shoot the ball right back at Chauncey. And that'll be, and that's area 1. Just mash through, and then you get a cutscene with EGAD telling you, we turn the ghosts back into paintings through the machine. In the meantime, if you're new to this tournament, I know SB Gaming already posted the bracket in the channel, but if you did, if you weren't here for that, you could type !LM in the chat. You'll get the bracket and the schedule. There's not really any other scheduled matches as of right now. That could change. We do have some more round 3 matches going on. But you'll also see the bracket. Oh, and now actually there's VODs of other past matches as well. Currently this week we've been kind of focusing on finishing up main bracket round 4. It looks like we're actually in. My apologies. I don't know why I said round 3. That was a dumb. Oh, because we're in losers round 3. We're finishing up losers round 3, and we're hitting main bracket round 4. So now Switch and Rubbertoe are both entering area 2, where we're going to start to see a little more of the technicalities of the speed run. You'll see the flashlight in the air, avoiding spawning ghosts. If those ghosts do come down, they'll scare Luigi, and he'll have a little animation that wastes a second, and it's annoying. Switch purposely getting grabbed to set up a double there, and then stays against the wall here to set himself up to get this key. And he'll drag the key to the door to not waste time. And then this next upcoming room is the ballroom. There's going to be 3 sets of Shy Guys who are harder than they look to suck up optimally. And I believe Switch does a scare skip at first to get them all to spawn and move toward the Shy Guys. Moves nice and close and then angles himself to get the first one. Going to keep his distance a little bit here to not activate the, to not suck up the ghost from the far double on the right side. And he does get this double here. Overall, very smooth ballroom for Switch. If you look at Rubbertoe now, he as well getting the second double and looks set up nicely to get this third double here as well. Perfect. Switch not getting early release. There's just a 50-50 chance that these ghosts will show their heart 10 seconds earlier or they will not. And it's just no rhyme or reason. So you see Rubbertoe didn't get it either. So early release doesn't exist. I'm a liar. Just disregard everything. This was all according to plan. You'll see the runners actually use the spinning platform to get closer to the chest after they're done with the suck up as well. Switch hitting that bucket. Sometimes there's a poison mushroom in there, and while doing this poster skip here, that bucket gets an activation, so you don't want a poison mushroom to come out while you're doing poster skip there. And then you think, Adam, what is poster skip? Well, I'm happy to tell you. There's a poster on the other side of that wall. And if you could actually suck it up through the wall, skipping, having to suck it up when you walk toward it, it's in between cycles. It only saves time. It doesn't lose time at all. So you see Switch making his way to the button, and what this button's going to do is going to release all the boos into Mansion, into most all the lit rooms, or the to-be-lighted rooms even. And you have to find them. Technically speaking, in this run, you only need to find 25 of them because 15 of them come from the Area 3 boss fight. But they are what a lot of people consider one of the main factors of RNG in this run. Because in each room, they can be hidden in an assortment of different spots. So this first boo that they're going to get in the parlor is particularly noteworthy because of a potential text skip that's possible. After everybody suck up there's text, and so what's going to happen here is if there's a lump in this table on the right side, there's a 50-50 shot that this boo is in the table itself. You have to suck up the tablecloth. So there's no lump, so it's definitely not in there. So you're going to see Switch set up for a text skip here. So it's either in the bookcase, the painting, or the left side, the dish thing. Yeah. So unfortunately, it's the worst of the best RNG, if that makes sense. No lump for Rubbertoe either, and then he sucks up the sheet after sucking up the boo to get the text skip. Rubbertoe, unfortunately, take a little bit of time there to activate what was a distraction spot. The reason I said 50-50 chance before is because there's either a distraction spot or the actual boo. And you can't tell which one it is just by the radar, which is kind of a bummer. And the boo for Rubbertoe actually switched back into the right side there. Really, the RNG not great for either runner so far. And then we're going to be mirror warping back down, and we're going to go to the other two rooms. We visit the ballroom and the storage room to get our fourth and fifth boo before going to the next section of Area 2. We do save Area 1 hallway for a later time we have to come back in Area 3. So this boo, pretty straightforward to spawn. It can only be in those boxes, and then you just suck him up. And I didn't talk about it, but what you're seeing the runners do to hold the boo in place is something called R pumping. You hold down the left trigger, and then you press the right trigger every 10 health. And it's going to keep that boo in place. And if you do it optimally, you know, especially that every 10 health, it's going to, you could get about 150 health, a little more by doing other strategies, which we'll talk about a little later, especially, I don't know if Switch goes for Breaker Boo or not, but you'll see. So now that 5 boos have been collected, they're going to make their way to the washroom where there's a key in a toilet. Very important. A good place to keep your keys if you were curious, you know, for your future lifestyle. Think about it. No one else will check there. And then mirror warping again. Try taking pictures of your mirrors. You will spin around in circles and teleport. It's great. And then they're going to make their way to the mirror room where they're actually going to get their first element. And a pretty neat little skip as well. So the gimmick of this room is you can't see the ghost spawning, or you can't see the ghosts on the main floor, but you can see them through the mirror. However, as speedrunners, we know exactly where they're going to spawn, and it is entirely irrelevant. But you could also check out the dust that's on the floor. In every room, there's always like dust, and that shows whenever the ghosts spawn. So if you can just kind of keep track of their movements a little bit, they're not too hard to keep track of. Great RNG there for Switchmaster. He's going to go ahead and open up this chest to get the fire element spawn, and he's going to suck up this boo and run into the fire element. And what that's going to allow him to do is save warp here. So he's going to save and quit. It's going to skip the long fire element text from EGAD, skip having to light the candles to leave the room, and it's also going to set a cycle for the butler. You'll see when we get to him, this butler's just kind of walking back and forth, really on a set cycle. So the way this times out, he's always going to wind up at the closest to the right side of the hallway if everything is done optimally here. You see Rubbertoe still just right behind Switchmaster. So you're going to make your way up the hallway here, and then you'll see the butler with his candles just peeking around the corner. You light his candles, and the closer to the right side, the less time you have to wait to suck him up in the... I forgot the name of the room. The butler room is what we're calling it now. Laundry room, a little bit... it's straightforward, but it's very punishing if you make a mistake in the laundry room. Because of that butler cycle, if you do make a mistake, you don't want the butler to despawn. He'll despawn pretty quickly in the next room if you allow him to. So as long as we hit this double, and he does, then everything's fine. You'll see Switch grabbing the hat at a very specific point. That's going to skip the chest spawning cutscene. He's going to open the chest so he doesn't have to watch the chest spawning cutscene when he goes back in the room either. You see Rubbertoe didn't grab the hat, so he had to watch the chest spawn. But also, I don't think he got the butler right away either, so it's not going to punish him too much here. He'll still have time to hit the mouse hole as well. Speaking of the mouse hole, they're going to suck up the boo, and at the end of sucking up the boo, they're going to bring the boo through the mouse hole, and that's a free tech skip right there, boys and girls. But only on Japanese, so if you try that on the English version, it's going to look weird. Try it. It's fun. Why not? Gonna go ahead and set up for all 4 ghosts right here. Easy peasy. And it looks like RNG might be cooperating for Switch. I'm a liar. That's weird. I didn't actually make a sound. The sound just kind of clipped away. Rubbertoe actually missing the fire element, but it looks like it's going to be okay here. The getting hit by the bats, not a bad thing. It's actually going to get some of them to despawn. You don't want those bats to hit you as you're sucking up these goats. It can piss off some people. Switch looking like he's setting up for a laundry boo tech skip, and I think he's got it. He does. Ooh. Oh, baby. That's one of the harder, in my opinion, the hardest tech skip to get in this game, because that cloth is really a lot more stubborn onto that pole, that little laundry pole. That ball is going to get in the way here of Rubbertoe, so he probably won't be able to set this up. He'll get pushed into a corner by the ball. Oh, and the ball's in his way. He has to move the ball. That's what I was afraid of. If the ball is too close to the door, Luigi physically just won't do the animation. He'll just stand at the door. So Switch, you saw activating all the instruments. That's going to get Melody to start talking to you, playing her little jingle jangle. And it's only one of 2 options. So people always say, can you read Japanese? The answer is no. It's literally only one of 2 options. Either the water theme or the Super Mario Bros. 3 theme. So you burn up all her sheet music, which is a tragedy to nature in itself. And that's the end of Melody. Looks like, again, potentially great RNG for Switch. And still great RNG. That's fine to have it in the piano. So spawning the key on purpose here. Probably not grabbing it on purpose, but, you know, hey. It's fine as long as the boot doesn't escape. And that's what I mean by getting scared in the hallway. It's annoying. Switch actually got hit by a bat, which caused Luigi's flashlight to go down. So he wasn't, you know, shining in the air or anything. And, well, what happens there? The ghost is going to spawn from the ceiling. Switch spraying his element into the freezer to skip having to watch the animation disappearing cutscene from the ghost. Talk more about that later as we have more of those. And then he gets his water element, so he can suck up water as well. You heard that little cackle? That means the boot just switched places, and I think it might have actually switched into the dishwasher here. I wasn't quite watching the radar. It didn't. I'm a liar. Switch into the fridge. and making his way very close to the Area 2 boss now. We just have one more portrait ghost and 3 unique skeleton ghosts. So they're going to dodge Spooky the dog here twice. And then actually get hit a third time, or actually get hit on the third time, I should say, on purpose. That's going to set up for once we suck up the skeleton ghost, the bone is going to drop. It's going to leave Spooky right in the right spot to reveal his heart. I think Switch's vacuum was just slightly too far away from the hit marker there. But he does reveal his heart right away instead of, otherwise you would have to watch Spooky walk over to the dog bone. It's a very slow process. And then stun locking here using his flashlight until the double gets set up. So if you time your flashlight and you press it just in a certain rhythm, the ghost will actually stay spawned and locked in a certain place. We use it a couple times in this run. So now we're at the Area 2 boss fight, Bogmire. 100 HP, little misleading. It's actually a difficult fight because Bogmire really likes to pull away, like pull strong against Luigi. And you have to play it just a little bit differently. Some people use the C stick instead of the control stick on this fight. Everyone does it a little bit differently. So you see Switch prioritizing maintaining control there. You actually saw the HP suck up stop for a second. That was Switch maintaining control over Bogmire, so Bogmire didn't break away. Overall, very clean Bogmire. Now check out Rubbertoe's Bogmire. So you see him maintaining control too, getting dragged a little bit, but it works out fine. Now moving into Area 3. Again, you have to watch the same cutscene in between. Area 3 has a lot of different difficulties. It's kind of one of those, like for newer runners, it's hard to tell when you're losing time because there's just a lot of tiny time saves and time losses that really add up in this area. Especially when we get to the Area 1 hallway and going through collecting the booze there, but a lot of little nuances that really add up in Area 3. So you see walking past Area 2, and then you're going to go to Thorn Door on the left side. And then using his water element to fall down the ladder instead of having to climb down. And here we see, of course, our end game objective, which is Mario stuck in a painting because he's dumb and Luigi's a better character. Something I didn't mention, every time Luigi pulls out his flashlight, he's spraying the water element or any if you have an element, you'll see them spraying an element. That's going to skip the flashlight animation coming out. Saves a second every time. Very important. Grabbing another one of the, actually it might be the first Mario item. No? No. Grabbing another one of the Mario items to bring to the fortune teller later. You need all 5. Skipping this room entirely, just grabbing a key. spinning around in circles on a treadmill like a champion. Rubbertoe going back down the ladder. Gotta really make sure you saw Mario there. Shooting water through the ceiling because that's how we do. And spraying his element to make sure the other ghost spawns as well as he's flipping down. So if you watch Switch here, interesting, you know, watch the radar because the Boo will switch always during this ice text. So it's still somewhere far away from him, probably? Yeah, it looks like it's in the left side drawer. Kind of an annoying spot, to be honest. And you'll see Switch, he's making his way downtown. He's walking fast, faces past. He is homebound. It's over. Rubbertoe also has the left side Boo as well. That was kind of his chance to catch up a little bit. Trying to set up a little text skip, but pulls the cloth all the way off. Petunia getting exposed in the shower. Sorry, I read a copy pasta in the chat. Oh gosh. Anyways, you have to hit Nana with yarn balls. She gets pissed and flustered, and then you suck her up. Oh, that's funny. It's best because I'm sorry, breaking the little fourth wall here. His name is Tanner from high school. That's fantastic. Anyways, grabbing the key, sucking up the Boo here. And on his way. It looks like one of the rubber toes. Good. It looks like one of the arm balls got away from Rubbertoe there, and that, well, especially one of them, one of the yellow ones, really likes to just fly all the way to the right side of the room. One of those candles eluding Switch a little bit, and actually now he's standing in a position where one of these ghosts won't spawn until he turns around. Not too big a deal because he still has to get the mask off this dude anyways. Yeah, set up another double. And then this, I feel like everyone does a little differently. Some people go for a triple, some people go for burning and then getting a triple, and then some people go for just burning the grabber ghost completely and then getting a double. Everyone seems to do it quite differently. Sorry, I'm rereading the copy pasta. Have to copy that one. Rubber toe goes by rubber finger. Listen. Switch easily moonshotting, not even adjusting his angle here. A champion. Is the rubber toe now also making his way to the moonshot? And there's another example of the flashlight skip. On Switchmaster side, let's see Rubbertoe's moonshot here. Adjust just slightly to the right and almost in the center of the moon. So yeah, that'll work. That'll do. Now switch going into the projector room. Pretty similar concept to the mirror room, only instead of there a mirror being there, there's a projector. But you still just really know where the ghosts spawn and everything's fine. Setting up a double now for switch, and then gonna set up a triple afterward. Spawning himself by the chest, ending himself by the chest spawn, so that he can actually open, get the glove, and then spawn the boo. Hopefully at the same time. Unfortunately, a boo ball came out of there. But he found the boo pretty fastly afterward. Pretty quickly, even. So here's that area 1 hallway I was talking about coming up here. It can be a doozy. So this room, pretty straightforward. Most of the hitboxes are actually right here at the desk. I think there's 3 hitboxes in the desk there. And there's only 5 hitboxes in the entire room. Because 2 are the desk, 1 is the chair. So if you have your vacuum in that direction, you got a 60% chance of getting the boo right there. Oh my goodness. If that boo escaped for Rubbertoe, that would have been awful. But it didn't. So everything's fine. I think he had a heart lock on there or something like that. That brought your vacuum locks onto objects on the floor like hearts and money, specifically pearls, not coins or bills. And if that happens, it'll actually take you off the boo and onto anything that's not the boo, and the boo will just casually float away in its own happy little direction. Oh, we got the Speedy Spirit spawn. He's running around. He's so excited to be here. Just partying on. Look at this dude flying at the corners. Look at it. Oh, he's so fast. He's just ready for a good time. He just wants to party and everyone knows. Oh, look at him go to the other side. All right, goodbye, Speedy Spirit. Anyways, those were the twins. You see Rubbertoe is face to face with them. This boo likes to escape very quickly. So if you get a pearl lock on, it's a bad day. But it's fine. Oh, we got the Speedy Spirit on Rubbertoe's side too. Look at him go. He's just so excited. Look at him. He's flailing around. He's on the bed. Oh, what a happy Speedy Spirit, dude. I wish I was that happy. Look at him go. Ooh, Rubbertoe almost got hit by the plane, twin. Look at, oh, he's in the corner. He's in the other corner now. You know, up to the left. He's just so excited. Goodbye, Speedy Spirit. Anyways, Switch actually getting a tech skip there. That's one of the easier tech skips in the run. You just bring the sheet of the bed halfway or a little more than halfway off the bed. And then once you're sucking up the boo, you bring yourself up into the corner. And naturally, the boo will get sucked up and then the sheet will follow. So Switchmaster has something very exciting to do here where he'll be mashing the A and B button for about 1.5 minutes. Showing all 5 Mario items to the fortune teller, whose name eludes me at this moment. Sometimes I remember her name. Sometimes I don't. Clairvoya is her name. So we'll while he's doing that, we'll check out Rubbertoe, see what's up. Watch this spicy tech skip happen again. Bam, 30 health, no problem. Into the corner. Tech skip, mirror warp. Child's play. Children's video game. So now we're both mashing. We're in mashing hell. Welcome to mashing hell. I'm your host. Oh, Switch is done. So Clairvoyant is a weird one because she just she's stuck behind the chair. What is happening? That was interesting. Chat? Y'all see that? Anyways. So she just kind of gives up and she's like, put me in your vacuum. And so she's actually a little weird to suck up. Another noteworthy thing, which hopefully doesn't happen to Rubbertoe. That Boo, only 40 health, loves to fly into the other room. So hopefully, like I said, we'll have no issues here. Switchmaster getting ice for the upcoming Safari room. Newer runners love to forget that ice and then have to walk all the way back down to get it. Because that is the closest spot. Switch narrowly avoiding Dora the Exploder. And as if by jinxing it, the Boo is leaving the room and going to the fire room. Commentator's curse, what can I say? The mirror room, I'm sorry. I've been commentators cursing a lot of people this entire tournament, really. Sounds like hearts just bouncing around in the corner. But he gets the Boo spawn from the boxes. And now he's going to move on to the Area 3 boss, Boolossus. It's a good one. 15 Boos conglomerate into one massive Boo. Gotta spray some ice on them. Suck them up. Every time they go in, the vacuum makes a little sound. It's pretty good. Meantime, Roberto's setting up his double. Really still right behind Switchmaster here. Especially with Area 4, anything can happen still. No doubt in my mind. So the Boos dispersed. Ice placement pretty good for Switch. He's going to back up here. Position his vacuum. He's going to shoot an ice shot up and then probably either shoot a second ice shot or spray as he comes forward, and he'll spray as he comes forward. Getting most all of them in one go. This Boo just chilling out of bounds, but not a problem. Switchmaster gets a pretty clean one cycle there. And while Switch is in the cutscene, we'll actually use Rubbertoe's audio here. And check out what's going on with Rubbertoe. See how his Boolossus goes. Not exactly what Switch what Rubbertoe needed for Switch to get that good of a Colossus, but here we are, right? So again, running straight to the right. Bringing the Boo around ice. A little bit of an inconvenient spot. He has to walk away to get it, but nothing he can't handle. It looks like he's locked onto the ice here. I mean, I'm sure he's not locked on at this point. Yeah, so he'll spray here. Should be spraying more, but actually vacuuming. This looks like it's probably going to be a 2-cycle with how dispersed these Boos are. Yeah. 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 So now the Boos will actually charge at him from behind. Just like that. Or from the front. Sure, why not? Yeah, that'll be a quick 2-cycle Colossus. Switching back to Switchmasters. Aha. Switching back to Switch. Am I right? All right. So Switch walking all the way back up to the Colossus area where we're going to enter the section called the Blackout. Spoiler warning, lightning's going to hit the mansion and all the lights are going to turn off. And a bunch of ghosts are going to spawn, except we'll see none of them, most likely. And it's a good time. Good time involved for everyone. During that Blackout section, we're going to go to Mr. Grimly Grim. And he will show his heart randomly, anywhere from instantly to 50 seconds. Just, you know, whenever he wants. And then you turn the power back on. And that's what's coming up here. So there's the lightning, and wha-bam! Power's out. The power, I mean, it looks like the lights had to think about turning off. But yeah. There's spoilers, I know. So you see a flashlight skip, stopping that ghost from spawning on the top and aiming his flashlight in the correct direction to stop ghosts from spawning. Generally, ghosts will be spawning everywhere, but if you point your flashlights in the correct directions, the ghosts won't spawn if your flashlight is there. Technically, ghosts will be spawning here as you mirror warp, but no one cares about them because you don't see them. So Grimly's in the wardrobe room, kind of a random room for him to hang out in, but he's checking himself out in front of the mirror. And here we go. Now we wait. And that was pretty quick. I'll take that Grimly any day. He's a wily one, though. He likes to wiggle around and do his thing. It's rare to get like the super long Grimleys, but it can happen. Trust me. And now Switch will go to the basement to turn on the breaker, flip the breaker switch, turn the lights back on in the mansion, and continue traversing for about 14 more minutes. Or 13 more minutes, really. So Switch does not go for breaker boo, so we won't even talk about it. There's a boo in there. That's the end of that. He will set up a double in here, though. Boom. Magic. Poison mushroom on the floor. If that hits him, he will lose 10 seconds. But looks like the poison mushroom is just kind of, screwing off into its own corner. So that's cool. And second of the boo. I did not see Rubbertoe's Grimly, I'll be honest. I think it was fast because I looked down. Yeah, it was fast. So now Switch has to do more walking. He has to walk all the way back up to where the power went out. And then go through that door to the toy soldiers. It's a bit of walking in this game in Area 4. Some of the hardest rooms, but also just the most back and forth. So Rubbertoe getting his key. I don't think he's going to go for Breaker Boo either. He's not. He outie. Mario. 64 is slightly ahead. 64 is slightly ahead, and 64 is slightly behind. This is the battle of the 64s. A good boost spawn there for Rubbertoe. A little bit high, though. It might be double cackling. I think this boo is going to wind up escaping here. Oh, 7 HP. That sucks. That means he cannot save warp. Ooh, Switchmaster going for that double. Spicy, spicy double. He's going to get it. And it looks like he's trying to connect this green one to it. And was pretty close to doing it, too. Just couldn't quite get the right angle. So Rubbertoe cannot save warp from the top. He's going to have to do the mirror warp unless he wants to reset the cellar boot. Because every time you quit the game, you do reset the boost spawns and the health. So you see Switch, never mind, just ignore what I said. You see Switch get a double. And that's exactly what happened there, ladies and gentlemen. You see Switch get a 6 stumble skip off the ladder. Technically off the slope, but still, it's cool. Well, now let's see Rubbertoe's armory, kill me. Toy soldier room. Looks like he's going to go for one at a time here, unless he goes for a double on the second two. Looks like nope, he's actually making sure he doesn't. But he gets slapped in the face by the green toy soldier. In the meantime, you're going to see Switchmaster actually set up for what looks like a quad here, which is going to be cool. Never mind, it's a triple. Or... no. He was supposed to burn that pink puncher ghost, but the pink puncher ghost kind of said no. So just looking for that spawn. Armory Boo, a little bit tricky. Because there's lag in the room, so you want to make sure you are pumping at the right time to not over pump. Because if you over pump, the boo's going to escape. There are only 15 cackles in a boo's life cycle. And then it will leave. And every R pump is a cackle. Anyways, now Switch going to the basement here. Getting through the dust while Rubbertoe works on his armory room. So it'll be really bad news if this armory boo escapes, because then he can't save warp, and it would just be bad news. And that's for Rubbertoe I'm speaking for. Of course, he's the one in the armory room. Meantime, Switchmaster doing the pipe room. And by doing the pipe room, I mean not doing the pipe room. You don't actually have to do the pipe room. You just have to hit the valve and grab the key. And then skedaddle on out of that room. The Boo might have actually switched out of Rubbertoe and he's moving all the way around. Probably should have pulled out his vacuum to hit that from the other side, but at least he's set up now for a good one cycle. But the Boo's floating up in the air, and you don't want a Boo in the air. But he got it just fine. Ooh, Switch getting nailed by a spike from the ceiling in the middle of the Weston suck up. And the other spike is just floating in midair? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Good game. So, fun part about this room, ice physics and pearl lock-on. You gotta avoid both of those things. Switch doing a great job with it so far, though. And everything's fine. So you're going to see Switch save warp on out of here and head to the second to last room in the mansion, which is going to be Vangor. It's a mini boss of sorts. You see Rubbertoe collecting the Boo that he didn't quite get before. And then getting slapped with some Vangor text. No, never mind. That wasn't Vangor text. Don't listen to me. Don't know what I'm talking about. So Vangor is an interesting kind of mini boss because it's not really, but you know, in the meta or in the game's outline, he's kind of the one who's spawning all the other ghosts, and so you get him, and that's the end of that. Except other ghosts still spawn in the mansion. It makes sense. So it doesn't make sense. So those are all the paintings that we were talking about. And they'll spawn in sets of 3 here. So it's just getting a bunch of triples over and over again. Boom! Triple. And boom! Triple. I'm not gonna do it every time. I refuse. Robert's having a little trouble finding that Boo spawn there. And Switchmaster nailing, getting all the triples. Rubbertoe looks like he had a good Weston Boo as well because he's save warping. Vangor himself is actually a pretty straightforward ghost to suck up. Nothing kind of special about him. When the Boo's all the way on the left side there for Switch, only 2 spots it could be in, and it was on the bad one. You know, try and get the health as low as possible here. Not pumping on the last one. If you do that final pump, the Boo will actually leave faster. So if you let it kind of drag out, you can get much more health off of the Boo. And then walking back in before the Boo goes into the room, you can kind of meet him in there without having to go through the whole animation of him cackling at you. And save warping, and he's going to go ahead and go to King Boo. Switchmaster is currently in the lead. It looks like Switch actually might get a 57 here, which is cool. If he 2 cycles. So it takes 2 minutes from talking to King Boo to get a good 2 cycle. So it'll be a 57-57 if he gets a nice 2 cycle here. Which is a great, especially his PB is a 57-14, so that's definitely a great tournament time. But Switch did also come in 2nd place in the tournament last year, so a very consistent runner. $133 is good health for Rubbertoe here. Whoa, that Boo just zipped! He did not give a damn. So you see Switch hitting the spike ball. He's gonna get about 250 HP here. Could crown theft by accident for the moves quite low to the ground. 244 could. Setting himself up for a nice 2nd cycle here. And that will be a finish for Switch at 57-57. And he will move on to the next round. So while Roberto's in this cutscene here, let's just have a little chat. If he did do crown theft, he would have to reset and go back to King Boo. So it wouldn't disqualify the run because he's got a save from save warping. He would just have to reset his save and go back to 40 Boos, go back to King Boo. Anyways, where was I? So. Logistics. I like logistics. How about you? So Switchmaster will move on to round 5. He'll be playing the winner of Zircon Eagle 16 versus HD Lax. In the meantime, Rubbertoe does move down to losers round 5, where he'll be playing the winner of Official Skazi versus Monado Perch. If you want to check out the bracket, feel free to type !LM in the chat. And while Rubbertoe finishes up here, I do have Switchmaster in the Discord call.
Oh, hi. Oh, is Rubbertoe not done?
No, he's not yet.
All right,
hang
I'll
on
wait.
just a sec. Yeah.
I'll give it a minute.
All right, so Rubbertoe's finishing up. Just starts R pumping. The King Boo looks like tried to escape there for a second, but he R pumped to keep him in place. 255. Still can get a nice 2 cycle here. His shoes are gone. Winner plays me and lets me win. King Boo a little high in the air here. I'm not quite sure if we'll see a 2 cycle or not. Nope. Too far away. So now we get to see Bowser twist his head around. Never mind, Rubbertoe's just gonna camera spam. Anyways, Spike Ball, Luigi's head, Spike Ball, Bowser's head, Rubbertoe finishes. And right as if on cue.
Hello.
I literally said Rubbertoe finishes and he joined.
Nice.
So Switchmaster, first thing I want to ask you.
Yes.
That clairvoyant suck up.
Someone said you were laughing when it happened.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Yeah, okay. I remember I've gotten it once before. I don't know why it happens, but like
It's
just
so-
randomly she'll just
so
get
far
stuck
away.
there. And I don't know why, but she'll just get stuck there and you can't move her no matter what you do. And so it's convenient, but like it's really weird.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a very thinking back on it, that was a very well executed run. RNG maybe not so much on
Dude.
your side for a lot of
Dude,
it.
tell me about it. I think that's like the best executed run I've had probably ever.
It's a shame RNG did not cooperate.
No lie.
Like even in the parlor room, it's like, all right, I got tech skip. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, pretty much. Dude, the ballroom, oh my god. It was like, okay, he's on the left. Okay, nope, painting. Okay, nope, left.
Switch back to left, yeah.
That felt like the run. I mean, considering I got a 57 with that RNG, I think I played pretty well.
Yeah, it was definitely a very well played run. And now you get to move on, Mr. Previous year runner up.
Heck yeah. Do you know who I'm playing? The winner?
You're playing the winner of Zircon versus HD.
Awesome. That'll be hype.
It's gonna be a good one either way. If it's Zircon, then it's like I feel like you and Zircon started at the same time a little bit.
We kind of did. We've been like he's always just been
And you
kind of
guys were
slightly
kind of
ahead
back
of
and
me.
forth, yeah.
Yeah.
So like that would be cool, but at the same time, also if HD wins, then like rematch.
I gotta get him back. Beat me twice last year.
Rubber has to go. Yeah, he did. But hey, listen. I don't know. I'm excited for both of them. It's weird that we're already getting to round 5 matches.
Dude, it's going fast.
But yeah, if you did so you feel good about the run, then that's good to hear. Because I feel like the past couple matches I commentated, the runners are like, yeah, it happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, good job to both runners. If you want to follow them, you should, because they both stream and their Twitches are in the stream right now.
Even if
Right
you don't.
now. I mean, yeah, if you don't want to watch them, at least follow them anyways. Boost their numbers, man.
Oh yeah, by the way, I golded 3 splits that run.
Woo-wee.
I golded, I mean, they were kind of fake golds because I reset my splits a while ago, but like, I did
They're golds.
go fast sometimes.
Nice.
That happens.
If you want to see more golds, follow this man. Anyways, that being said, it's been a pleasure hosting for you guys.
Yo, thanks for commentating.
And, as always, thanks to Speed Gaming for setting all this up. And I don't know when the next one is because it's not scheduled. This is when I would tell you, but it's not there. So I'm just going to say goodbye. There's no more Luigi's Mansion ever.
He's keeping it from you. Don't listen to it.
I'm sorry. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.
See you guys.